The relationship between Iran and the United States is one of the most complex and volatile geopolitical dynamics of our time. It's a tension that shapes global energy markets, fuels regional conflicts, and constantly teeters on the brink of wider confrontation. For decades, this intricate dance of diplomacy, deterrence, and occasional direct confrontation has kept the world on edge. Today, we're diving into the latest updates and underlying currents that define this critical standoff. At the heart of the ongoing friction lies a series of deeply entrenched issues, ranging from historical grievances to present-day strategic ambitions. It's a relationship marked by a lack of trust, where every action by one side is viewed with suspicion and often met with a counter-response from the other. Understanding this dynamic requires looking at the key flashpoints and persistent challenges. One of the most critical geographical points in this relationship is the Strait of Hormuz. This narrow waterway connecting the Persian Gulf to the open ocean is arguably the world's most important oil transit choke point. Roughly 1/5 of the world's total petroleum consumption and a significant portion of its liquefied natural gas passes through this strait. For Iran, it's a strategic asset, a lever it has historically threatened to close in response to external pressures or perceived threats. For the United States and its allies, ensuring the free and safe passage of ships through Hormuz is a top priority, often backed by a substantial naval presence in the region. The mere suggestion of disruption sends ripples through global energy markets, highlighting the immense stakes involved. This brings us to the economic dimension, particularly Iran's oil exports. Karg Island, for instance, serves as a crucial hub for Iran's crude oil shipments, handling the vast majority of the country's exports. Its strategic importance makes it a frequent point of discussion when tensions escalate. The U.S., through its maximum pressure campaign, has imposed stringent sanctions aimed at crippling Iran's oil industry, severely limiting its ability to sell crude on international markets. The goal is to curtail Iran's revenue streams, which Washington argues are used to fund its regional activities and nuclear program. This economic pressure has a direct impact on global oil prices. When tensions flare in the Gulf, the price of a barrel of oil often reacts instantly, sometimes dramatically. The U.S. has consistently emphasized its capacity to provide reliable energy supplies to its allies, particularly in the Asia-Pacific, as an alternative to Middle Eastern sources, aiming to diminish Iran's leverage over global energy security. Beyond the economic and geographical flashpoints, the U.S.-Iran rivalry plays out intensely through a complex web of regional proxies. Iran has cultivated a network of allied groups across the Middle East, often referred to as the Axis of Resistance. These include Hezbollah in Lebanon, various Shiite militias in Iraq, and the Houthi movement in Yemen. These groups act as extensions of Iranian influence, allowing Tehran to project power and respond to perceived threats without direct military engagement. For instance, in Iraq, several Iran-backed militias operate, sometimes clashing with U.S. forces or interests. In Lebanon, Hezbollah maintains a powerful political and military presence, often viewed by the U.S. and Israel as a direct threat. These proxy engagements create a volatile environment, where local conflicts can quickly escalate into broader regional confrontations, drawing in external powers like the U.S. Understanding these dynamics is crucial, as they represent the everyday manifestations of the U.S.-Iran standoff, far from the headlines of direct military conflict. Another critical aspect is the internal political landscape within Iran itself. The supreme leader holds ultimate authority, guiding both domestic and foreign policy. The succession process, while not openly discussed, is a constant undercurrent in Iranian politics. The stability and direction of Iran's leadership have profound implications for its relationship with the U.S. and the world. Any perceived shift in power or even a public message from a key figure is scrutinized for clues about future policy directions. For instance, statements from prominent figures regarding the Strait of Hormuz or the presence of U.S. bases in neighboring countries are not merely rhetoric. They often reflect the strategic thinking within Tehran's corridors of power. These internal dynamics, often opaque to outsiders, heavily influence Iran's posture on the international stage. Looking ahead, the path forward remains highly uncertain. The default mode has often been one of deterrence, with both sides maintaining military readiness while carefully avoiding all-out war. Diplomatic channels, when they exist, are often indirect and fraught with challenges. Past efforts, such as the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action or the Iran nuclear deal, demonstrated the potential for de-escalation, but also highlighted the fragility of such agreements in the face of shifting political winds. The fundamental challenge remains finding a way for two adversaries with deep-seated mistrust and conflicting strategic interests to coexist without constant threat of escalation. The risks of miscalculation, whether through a misinterpreted action or an unintended consequence of a proxy conflict, are ever present.
In summary, the US-Iran dynamic is a multifaceted challenge, rooted in the strategic importance of the Strait of Hormuz, the economic pressures of oil sanctions, the complex web of regional proxy conflicts, and the internal politics of Iran. These intertwined factors ensure that the relationship remains one of the most closely watched and potentially dangerous in global affairs, constantly requiring careful navigation to prevent broader conflict. What are your thoughts on the future of US-Iran relations? Do you think diplomacy can prevail, or is continued tension inevitable? Share your perspective in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more in-depth analyses of critical global issues.